We have learnt 3 chapters almost, and we have covered topics like voltage and current. You have never seen what is voltage, you have never seen what is current. You can sense the current, you can sense the current shock, but you cannot even sense the voltage shock, which is not observed by you. Our instruments, the multimeter can show the voltage. DC voltage is 2 volts, AC voltage is 230 volts RMS. But you cannot see that signal. Here this instrument, which I am showing now, is having the capability to show the electric signal. It can be either voltage or current. So this instrument is having the capability to show any type of electric signal which is in the range of volts. If it is having in the kilovolts, this instrument is not having that capability. But at least when the signal is in the range of volts, with the CRO we can see that signal. And what if for the other physical signals, like I want to see the sound signal, can I see on the CRO? Obviously. I want to see some pressure signal, can I see? Yes. Any type of physical signal you can observe on the CRO. But remember, you have to convert that signal to equivalent electric signal. When I am speaking, I want to see whatever I am speaking on the CRO. It is possible. But only thing is you have to convert this voice into equivalent electric signal, and if you connect that electric signal to the CRO, then you can observe your voice. And similarly, the change of the pressure or change of temperature, any physical variable, any physical signal can be observed on the CRO only when it is converted into electric signal. So our intention is to connect the electric signal to the CRO. But we cannot connect the electric signal directly through the wire, because if you are trying to connect the signal directly through the wire, then the signal will be distorted in the wire itself. It will not reach to the CRO. We don't have the sufficient capability in that wire to send the signal from one end to the other end. That may be breadboard or any other physical signal. So what is the other option? How we can send the signal from one end to the other end? For that, there is a particular device called CRO probe. This CRO probe is having the capability to send the signal from one end to the another end without distortion. Specially, it is designed to eliminate the distorted effect. That's why whenever you connect the signal from the breadboard, you can observe that on CRO. And even I show the signal, which is the electric signal that is reaching to this finger. I will take the index finger and the signal, because in the previous classes, in the first class we have discussed, brain is sending electric signal continuously to the every part of body. You can observe that physical signal here on the CRO. Now we will learn some important knobs which we use daily. Even though there are many knobs on the CRO panel, some knobs we will use daily frequently. Those knobs, if we learn, then we can connect any electric signal to the CRO, and we can observe that electric signal, and we can find the amplitude and time period. As we already discussed, CRO probe is necessary. It is must to connect any electric signal. I am taking the CRO probe. It is a BNC connector, Bay-on-Net Concealment Connector. I use this CRO probe, and I have locked. When I turn this probe clockwise direction, then it will be automatically locked. If I try to remove, it will not come. And it is advisable precaution. You should not remove the CRO probe by using this wire. Then it may damage the CRO probe. So using this connector only, you have to rotate it anti-clockwise and then you can remove. I have rotated in the anti-clockwise direction and removed. When you are connecting any signal, then rotate the CRO probe in the clockwise direction, and after that there are two knobs. One is positive knob and another one is negative knob. If I connect the signal to any knob with respect to the ground, that signal you can observe on the CRO. Now first we will learn how to turn on the power. There is a button, power button in this CRO. All CRO panels may not be same. This is the one company CRO panel. Other company CRO panel might not be in the same way. But some functionalities of the board do not change from one board to another board. We are discussing about those knobs which we can observe in any type of the CRO. Now I am turning on the CRO by using the power knob. This LCD panel display, when it is showing some display, it itself indicating that power is already on. You can observe the signal on the CRO. This is the screen we are using. On this screen, if you observe, there is a possibility to remind you some graph you have studied in the previous classes, maybe in the 10th class. Yes, it is exactly like graph only. This small panel is like graph only. It is showing the values. The signal values can be measured through these boxes. So it is, if I take this as x-axis and the midpoint which is indicating this is y-axis, the two axes we are using to measure the signal. What parameters we measure? We measure the voltage, which is nothing but amplitude we measure along the y-axis, and we measure the time period along the x-axis, or we can also call that as a frequency. So two important parameters we learn. Two important parameters we measure on the CRO. Those two important parameters are, one is amplitude and the second one is frequency. If we measure these two parameters, then we have measured the signal. There is a button called channel 1/2. If I do not turn on this button, or if I do not press on this button, then automatically the signal that will be displayed is a channel 1 signal. If I press the button, the push button, you can observe the signal that is being displayed is channel 2 signal. We will check whether whatever we have said until now is correct or not. I am giving my index finger signal to this positive probe. Now you can observe the signal, the electric signal which is already there at my index finger, that can be observed on the screen. I am changing some knobs, voltage and time period knobs, in order to make you see the signal properly. This is the signal you are able to observe on the CRO screen. Even your finger itself does not know it is receiving that type of signal. You have never observed this type of signal. By physically, you cannot even think also this type of signal is there at your finger. But still, this instrument is having the capability to measure that signal on the CRO, which is we are calling that as an voltage signal. This is an electrical signal. Now I am measuring the signal at my thumb. This is the signal which I am receiving to the thumb. Okay. But in generally we use CRO particularly in the laboratories to receive the signal from the function generator, that is called as a signal source. Later we will discuss what is function generator and how we will connect the signal from the function generator to the CRO. We will observe a very good sinusoidal signal. We will generate the sinusoidal signals by using the function generator, and we connect that function generator to the CRO, then we will get a very accurate signal. That signal parameters we can easily measure, either this is amplitude or time period. Now if I connect the signal to the channel 2, this time I am also giving my index finger signal. I am not able to see the signal because I have not yet used the channel 1 knob. I have not yet turned on the channel 1 knob. Now when I am turning on this channel 1 knob, you can observe the signal of channel 2. In this manner, whenever you want to measure the signal of the channel 1, you can keep that button in the channel 1 position. When you want to observe the channel 2 signal, then you can turn on this channel 1/2 switch. Similarly, if you have doubt, how can I see the both signals of both channels simultaneously? Is there any provision? Yes, obviously the CRO is providing one option which is called as dual or mono. By using this button, we can see any one signal output of any channel, that can be either channel 1 or channel 2 when this is in mono mode. If I press the push button, when the signal is in dual mode, you can observe the both channel signals simultaneously. Channel 2, from the channel 2, because it is touching the ground, some signal is coming here, some noise signal we can call that as. So as of now, we have discussed how to turn on the power on the CRO, and how can we keep the signal, and how can we give the signal from the CRO probe to the CRO, how to see the signal in channel 1 and how to see the signal in channel 2, and also how to see the signals of both channels simultaneously. There is an option called X shift. Sometimes we may feel we can shift the signal along the x-axis, that may be right side or left side. Why we shift the signal along the right side or left side, sir? Because for our measurement only. If it is difficult to measure the signal, we will slightly shift the signal to the left side by using this X shift. As the name is indicating X shift, it is shifting the signal along the X axis. When it is connected in dual mode, both signals can be shifted simultaneously along the X axis. If my intention is shifting only one signal along the X axis to the left side, it automatically shifts the other signal which is connected to the channel 2 also. This is how we use the X shift to shift the signal along the X axis, either it can be right side or left side. Now we have two Y shifts. This Y shift 1 shifts the channel 1 signal along the Y axis, and Y shift 2 shifts the channel 2 signal along the Y axis. In order to measure the voltage or amplitude properly, we can use the Y shift. We shift the Y shift according to our measurement purpose, and similarly we shift the signal on the X axis in order to measure the time period when we are feeling that signal to be shifted either right or left. How we measure the voltage, how we measure the amplitude by using these two knobs, volts per division and time per division, that we will discuss later. At that time only, we also discuss how we can measure the AC. This is obviously whatever we are seeing is an AC. How we can use this AC or DC knob, or how we use the ground, that also we will learn. And one more thing, at this point you have to learn how to know whether our CRO probe is working properly or not. For that, I am taking the positive probe and I am connecting to the calibration. When we are connecting to the calibration, this should give square wave. If the square wave is appearing on the CRO screen, then the probe is working. You can use that probe for the signal. This is not signal, this is indicating that your probe is working. So we can use this probe now for connecting the signal. This is how we check the CRO probe. There are some buttons like intensity and brightness. This will increase the brightness. Now the brightness is intensity is almost 0. This is focus. When you observe the signal is blurred, you can change the focus. There is a button TR. When the signal is inclined, you can use the screwdriver and you can set the signal parallel to the x-axis. There is a button called function. If you keep this function, if you do not press the button, then this will be in the oscilloscope mode. If you press the button, then it is in the frequency counter mode. It only measures the frequency of the signal. X10 means you can observe the signal 10 times to the original signal. XY means this will simply give a dot for the line. This is how there are different knobs. We have learned the most useful knobs to us now. Channel 1, channel 2, mono, dual, X shift and Y shift.